Hi guys, it's Karen. I just wanted to give you an update. You might be wondering, why haven't we been traveling?
We're Dave and Karen from Watts on Wheels, and we sold our sticks and bricks to RV full-time now that we are retired. We travel with our heavy-duty truck Leroy, our two K&M motorcycles, our DRV Dixie, and our smart car Zippy. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell to be notified when we post a new video.
We've been on the houseboat for what seems like forever, and we've only taken a couple of trips since we've been on the houseboat since beginning of April. We took one trip where we went to Indiana to get some RV repairs done, and then we did a trip at the end of September to Anderson, South Carolina for a spider rally. The intentions were, at that point, we would continue to travel, maybe go down into Florida and then across Louisiana, Texas, Arizona, and hang out at Quartzsite next winter. Well, things got postponed because I've had some health issues. So a little background information on my health issue. It's my heart. And I have atrial fibrillation, but it's controlled with medication. I know a lot of people have atrial fibrillation. And it doesn't really affect how you live or anything unless it becomes very bad. My mother has it, my father has it, my brother has it, and in fact my brother died at age of 67, something with his heart. I originally found out I had atrial fibrillation back in 1995. I was actually on a business trip traveling from Michigan into Toronto, and all of a sudden my heart started beating really weird. And it was fast and it was irregular, and I'm out in the middle of cow pastures and I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't know if I'm having a heart attack, I don't know what's going on. So I kept driving until I got to an exit that I was familiar with in Kitchener, Ontario, and went to a supplier that I knew there. At that time I was working in automotive and working with suppliers. And I stopped in and I asked to see the quality manager there, and he came out and he said, what are you doing here? I didn't expect you. And I said, I know. I said, there's something wrong with my heart and I don't know what to do. I need to go to a hospital. And I started crying. Anyways, they got me to the hospital. They hooked me up, and my heart, they gave me something to slow my heart rate down, and eventually it went back into sinus rhythm on its own. Needless to say, I went directly back home to see my doctor. So they put me on medication 3 times a day to keep my heart rhythm proper. And it worked for many years. Then in 2016, I started having little mini episodes where my heart would start acting crazy. I get a fast heart rate. It would become irregular. My blood pressure would increase, and with AFib, the scare is that your blood pressure will get way up there and you'll have a stroke. So if the medication wasn't working very well at that point, because I was having these episodes, luckily most of the time they would never last more than a few minutes, so they didn't consider it a problem. Then as they started getting longer, next thing you know, I was going into the emergency room about every 4 to 6 months. And then within like an hour, hour and a half, it would go back in a normal rhythm. Never had to have any medication or anything to try to get it back into rhythm. No conversion or anything like that. So since I was starting to have these flutters more often, we decided to have a heart ablation in 2016. And that was about a 45-minute procedure. I was actually somewhat awake during it, and what they do is they make a little incision in your groin and they put this little wire thingy up there, and I could actually watch it on the screen as he was doing stuff in my heart, and they actually burn little sections of your heart that are like being irregular and wanting to do their own thing and set off their own electrical impulses, so they kind of burn those spots. They stopped doing that. So I went home that afternoon, and a couple days of don't lift anything and stuff like that. I was fine, and everything seemed to be hunky-dory. But then in I think it was 2018, Christmas Eve, we were staying at Thousand Trails in Cottonwood, Arizona. You know, of course, it's always late at night. There it goes again. Fast heart rate, irregular, blood pressure starting to go up. And generally I was told wait a half an hour, and if it doesn't get any better, then go to the emergency room, because the longer you stay in AFib, the harder it is to get your heart to go back to normal rhythm. So we went into the emergency room there. Lo and behold, after about an hour or so, they did have to convert me, where they knock you out for a short time, and then they, you know, do one of those jumps on you, and went right back into normal sinus rhythm. And I went home, and and after that I was fine for a while. Fast forward a little bit, I'm still having the little flutter episodes once in a while, never lasted for more than a couple of minutes, so I wasn't really worried about it, neither was my doctor. But then this year, we were riding our bikes into Anderson, South Carolina, and I had an episode where it was fast heart rate, irregular. It was really hot. It was like 90 degrees. So we stopped in a Burger King, and I put ice on my arms and my neck and tried to get cooled down. Drank a lot of water in case I was dehydrated, and just waited there for about a half an hour. Finally, after about a half an hour, it went back into regular sinus rhythm, so we continued to ride and got back home. Of course, I notified my doctor and went in and did an EKG. Everything seemed to be fine. But then exactly 1 month later, I had another episode, and this one lasted an hour and a half. Went to the emergency room here, and they were going to convert me, and boom, it went back in on its own. It's just taking longer and longer and longer for it to get back in on its own from the medication I was taking. So I ended up changing medications. So after further discussion with my doctor, he said, you know, you're having more and more episodes, they're lasting longer and longer, and he recommended we do another heart ablation, but this time we do both sides of the heart. So I agreed. So we have scheduled for a heart ablation for this coming October 26th. So far I've gone back in for multiple EKGs. I had to wear a heart monitor for 2 weeks. I had to go in for an MRA, which is like an MRI where you go in the tube and you hear the boom, 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 and they're taking pictures. I mean, there's no pain at all. You're just kind of in this tunnel for about 20 minutes while they take all these pictures. And all this information that they're getting from all these tests is going to help my doctor determine exactly where to go and how to do what he's going to do. He's done a lot of them. I got to still go back in for pre-op laboratory blood work. I got to get a COVID test, and then I have to get a 𝗠𝗘𝗗𝗜𝗄𝗏 our echocardiogram. They call it a TEE. Basically, it's where you have to get numbed up and kind of woozy, and they have you swallow this scope on this tube, and they actually get photos of like the back of your heart to help the doctor figure out the anatomy and where he's got to go as well. Not looking forward to that at all. I hear that's kind of like, you know, gag me, ouch. But anyways, got to do what you got to do. So the ablation is going to be about a 2 to 4 hour procedure, because they have to go up both sides of the groin through the arteries and into the heart, and they actually have to puncture through the middle of the heart wall to get to the left side of the heart. And then after that, you just stay for the day. If anything is kind of, then they'll make you stay overnight, but hopefully go home the same day. So I'm just letting you know that's why we're not out here traveling. I will be seeing the doctor on November 8th for him to do one last "you're okay," and we have already made plans to start traveling November 15th. So I would appreciate your prayers for my surgery on October 26th, that I have a speedy recovery and all goes well and all goes right. There's about a 70 to 80% chance of success with it. I would prefer a higher rating than that. And also that it all goes well, that we will be able to start to travel again. We really miss being out there on the road. We really appreciate you guys watching our YouTube videos, and you really mean more to us than you probably know. So again, please say your prayers for us, for me, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. We'd love to hear from you in the comments below, even if it's just to say hi. Don't forget to subscribe.